Hi there, Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. And I had a whole nother video all set to go up for you, but when I saw this, I said, I've got to make a video on this. I'll put the other one up Monday or Tuesday. I just don't believe this. I don't even believe it's true. But if it is true, it's devastating for our country. Maybe it's just a big ploy so that they can get what they want and later on show, see, we told you, the polls said we were right. I'm not sure what it is, but I can just tell you right now, it's discouraging. So let's go look and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, this is from Yahoo News, and it's today, August 20th. New polls show Democrats could win the 2022 midterms. Should you believe them? And my first thought is, no way. What are these people thinking? But I got to thinking about this. If they keep putting polls out now that the Democrats are going to win, when they win because they've cheated, everyone will say, hey, look, we knew way back on August 20th that the tide was changing. And it says Democrats are finally enjoying a run of good news. But will it be enough to prevent the electoral bloodbath that a president's party usually suffers in the midterms? Could the Democrats actually win in 2022? According to the latest data, the answer is possibly. And those are better odds than Biden and company had any reason to expect even a few months ago. And they go and they tell you that in the 19 midterms since World War II, 16 were won by the presidential party that was not in office. And Biden's rating is worse than any modern president. Inflation is the highest since 1990s, and it looks like a recipe for disaster for the Democrats. And yet, the polls are starting to show otherwise. Do you really believe that? Do you really think the polls are starting to show otherwise? Or are we surrounded by idiots? I shouldn't use that term, but that's how I feel. So over the last month, his average disapproval rating has fallen more than 2 points, and his approval rating has risen nearly 3 points. Now, why would it rise? Because they're fixing the polls, the same as they want to fix the you-know-what. I have to watch my words for you two. So this net approval rating is still negative by 16 points. So any movement towards Biden is notable, and the Democrats can no longer dismiss him as ineffectual. And it's the signs that the presidential popularity may no longer be a predictor of midterm performance that it once was. And when they do a generic ballot, it says now the Democrats are ahead of the Republicans by 3 points, according to Monmouth University, and 4 points by Morning Consult, and 6 points by YouGov. So the presidential party just took the lead in 538's generic ballot averaging for the first time in a year. I just don't know what to say. This is just amazing to me. And it says most voters don't usually tune in till after Labor Day. So, and the Democrats still have a long ways to go. So they do say that the Republicans have a good chance, a 77% chance. I don't see how it couldn't be a 100% chance of flipping the closely divided House. Still, GOP odds have fallen by 10 points over the last month. Time will tell if they keep falling. And the Senate side of things is trending towards Democrats too, only much more dramatically. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has some thoughts. I think there's a greater likelihood the House flips, and the Senate races are just different. They're statewide. Right now we have a 50-50 Senate and a 50-50 country. I think when all is said and done this fall, we're going to have an extremely close Senate, either our side up slightly or their side up slightly. And they say that all of these GOP all of these GOP nominees who were endorsed by Trump seem to be underperforming. And then he goes through here and talks about the different states and the ones who are running for Senate. Yet for now, at least, Republicans' path to a Senate majority looks much narrower than it should be, given the national environment. And then Democrats are favored to win back governorships in Maryland and Massachusetts, and Michigan and Pennsylvania. And 2 months is an eternity in U.S. politics. Anything could happen, but ultimately 2022 may wind up being a contest between the usual forces that tend to decide midterm elections: inflation, presidential job approval, and some of the more unusual forces that appear to be keeping Democrats afloat. And it might be Roe versus Wade. It says abortion may be leveling the playing field because it gives Democrats a reason to turn out as well. Many Democrats feel their basic rights are being threatened. And then 72% of the Democrats say another Trump term would be the worst thing that could happen to America. And far more say that democracy is the most important issue when thinking about this year's election than anything else. I just don't understand it. I really think they're priming us now so that if the Republicans don't win because of the corruption, because of the lying and the stealing and the taking of the you-know-what, they can say, look, way back in August, we published a poll that showed that the Democrats were going to win. So I'd like you to leave a comment, what you think. Could this be true? Could we really lose the midterms? And then what does that mean for our country as a whole? All I can say is stay tuned. We won't know till November. So comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And thanks for watching.